I wasn't meant to be there that night. No calls, no warnings, just a sudden flight, a taxi, and the old gate code I still remembered. My ex-wife believed she had scrubbed me out of that house, out of that life. But the truth hit me before my eyes did. When I cracked open the storage room door, the stench of dust and faint rot told me everything. My son, my boy, lay curled on the floor. His skin pale, his body frail, an empty water bottle rolling uselessly beside him. His lips, dry and broken, whispered a name that wasn't mine. He thought no one was coming. That's what betrayal smells like. Not perfume, not alcohol, but neglect. And while he was wasting away in that dark box, his mother and her shiny new family were somewhere offshore, laughing, spilling champagne into the ocean. That was the moment I made my choice. I would gut the life they built without ever lifting a fist. I had once loved her with a kind of madness. I gave her everything, my savings, my trust, my name. She gave me a son. And for a while that blinded me. But her hunger always screamed louder than love. She wanted more money, more thrills, more status. I was steady, reliable. And she spat that word back at me as boring. When she met the kind of man who dripped wealth and sold promises he never planned to keep, I was discarded. The divorce looked neat on paper, clinical, detached. She fought for custody, arguing our son needed stability. Stability wrapped in lies. I believed the court's ruling. That was my mistake. The first cracks showed in my son's voice during our calls. Quieter. Short answers. Sometimes he explained bruises as falling. Sometimes, when I asked if he'd eaten, hunger just stared back through his silence. Then came the missed calls, the excuses of bad reception. I didn't buy them. I booked the ticket, landed, and went straight there. That's when I found him, in that storage room, tossed aside like an inconvenience. The rage didn't explode, it froze. It crept through me like ice, vein by vein. I carried him out, pressed water to his lips, and made him a vow I hadn't made anyone in years. You'll never be left alone again. That night, the planning began. I didn't storm their yacht. I didn't scream. Revenge isn't noise, it's silence. For months before, I'd quietly tracked, not her, but him. Her new husband. His businesses, his shell companies, the untouchable accounts hidden offshore. He wasn't wealth. He was debt dressed up in gold. I made friends in quiet corners. Bankers who owed me favors, lawyers who hated arrogance, one bitter accountant who liked watching rich men bleed. While she played house, I was charting the blueprint of their financial bloodstream. Every card, every account, every line of credit. So when I lifted my son out of that dark room, I already knew. I wasn't just saving him. I was about to turn her glittering world inside out. It started with a single keystroke. One account frozen. A declined transaction. Their yacht's fuel supplier refused payment. Staff panicked. Her husband raged. By the time they understood the depth of it, every account was stone dead. Millions, not stolen but locked away untouchable. The phone calls came fast. She screamed into them, cursed at lawyers, begged bankers for answers. I listened from across the street, watching her unravel behind the glass walls of her waterfront palace. Then came the humiliation. Creditors circled. Business partners cut ties. The illusion cracked. Champagne fizz turned to tap water. Staff walked unpaid. She had built her castle on another man's sand, and I had dragged back the tide. Eventually, she came to me. Not repentant, desperate. I still see her face at my door. Smeared makeup, tangled hair, wild eyes. You did this, she hissed, her voice trembling. You destroyed us. I looked at her the way she once looked at me. Cold, done, emptied. No, I whispered. You destroyed yourself. I just turned on the lights. Behind me, my son stirred from the couch. He looked at her the way children look at strangers, detached, wary. That broke her more than money ever could. She collapsed, begging, pleading for me to undo it. Not once did she ask about her son. That's when I knew. The revenge was complete. She didn't just lose her wealth. She lost the mask. Piece by piece it all went. The yacht, the cars, the house, sold off, gone. Her husband ditched her within months, slipping away with an investor's wife. Her spoiled children turned bitter when the fountain ran dry. And her? She floated between rentals. haunted by the ghost of the life she thought she deserved. I never touched her again. Never answered a single call. Silence became the final punishment. As for my son, he lives with me now. Slowly healing, slowly learning what real stability feels like. At night, when I peek in and see him breathing evenly, no longer terrified of being left alone in the dark, that's my victory. That's justice. Do I regret it? Not for a heartbeat. People sometimes ask if I went too far. If freezing their lives was too cruel. I always ask back. What do you call locking a child in a storage room while you dance on a yacht? I don't need their answer. I already lived mine. And I already delivered it.